Good morning. Welcome. Good to see you. I've been doing this for nearly a year now, and I always sit here first thing thinking, "Oh, I wonder if anybody will turn up." And of course, you always do. You're wonderful. Good morning, Sarah and Marianne and Dimple and Philippa. Good to see you all. And Shobit. Good morning, Shobit. It's lovely to have your company. And today, I'm spending the day at our shop. Um, so that we're getting it ready to open next Thursday. So that's exciting, isn't it? Now it's no longer called York Buddhist Centre shop. It's called the Buddha's Bazaar, and we've got lots of new stock in. It's really exciting going and laying it all out and enjoying all these Buddha figures. And good morning, Rachel. Oh, and Shobit, we're celebrating Sangha Day here in India. Oh, that's great. Sangha Day is Community Day. It's Sangha Day in Triratna is when we celebrate the beginning of our community, which is now 53 years ago. So it's definitely something to celebrate. We've been going quite a long time. Good morning, Helen and Sarah. I think I've said hello to you, Sarah. And Dimple, yes, it is on Chilligate. The Buddha's Bazaar is it's opposite what used to be Whackers, halfway down. It's the centre, it's our centre, but we're using the front part of it as a shop to try and get some income, really, so that we can eventually get a much larger Buddhist centre that we really need. This one is quite small. It'll do for now, but in a few years we're going to need a much bigger one, I think. So do come next week, next Thursday, and have a look. Good morning, Lizzie. Good to see you. So welcome everybody. It's just gone 7, so we'll begin. And I just wanted to say a couple of things before we launch into anything. The first is that we have an introduction to Buddhism course coming up. It's 4 Saturday mornings, beginning the 1st of May. So I think it's 10 o'clock to 12:30. And what we do is we just talk about the basics of how to live a happier life. And it's a really powerful little course. And you don't have to want to be a Buddhist. People come along who have no interest in Buddhism as such. They just want to improve their lives. And that's what this course is about. It's about helping people to just have happier lives, really. And we go through quite a lot of the Buddha's teaching, the basics about how not to suffer, how not to make ourselves suffer. The Buddha talks about the 2 arrows where, things happen to us that we can do nothing about. We might get ill. But the second arrow is what we bring to that. And often we bring a whole load of not wanting it and getting upset about it, fed up with it. That's what causes us more suffering than the original cause. So we're sort of looking into all that kind of stuff. So if you want to join us on this course, you're so welcome. It's online, it's on Zoom, and you can book a place on our website. If you go to yorkbuddhistcentre.com and click on courses, and you see it there, and you can find out more and book a place. So it'd be great to have you along. It's a cracking course, great fun, great fun. Buddhism isn't about being really serious all the time, though maybe some of the time, but we have fun as well, because that's really important. So good morning to Lynn down there in London, and Maggie and Rachel. Oh yeah, Maggie says yes, it is a good course. So there you have a recommendation. Good morning, Jenny. So I better start, otherwise we'll run out of time. So I've got a poem to read, and it's by Mary Oliver, and one of my favourites. It's called The Journey. One day you finally knew what you had to do and be. Though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice, though the whole house began to tremble and you felt the old tug at your ankles. Mend my life, each voice cried, but you didn't stop. You knew what you had to do, though the wind pried with its stiff fingers at the very foundations, though their melancholy was terrible. It was already late enough, and a wild night, and the road full of fallen branches and stones. But little by little, as you left their voices behind, the stars began to burn. The stars began to burn. Through the sheets of clouds there was a new voice, which you slowly recognized as your own, that kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the only thing you could do, determined to save the only life you could save. That's Mary Oliver. And we're going to be doing loving kindness meditation this morning, and that poem is particularly pertinent to loving kindness meditation. In loving kindness meditation, ostensibly we're trying to bring a sense of loving kindness and goodwill to all beings, including ourselves. But actually, it's much more basic than that. What we're really trying to do is we're trying to notice these voices in our heads that are shouting at us. We're trying to notice these negative influences and to just be really honest about them, not pretend that they're not there, not being ashamed of them. And I mean these voices that say, "Oh, you're not good enough," whether we're talking about ourselves or other people. These voices that say, "I don't like you." These voices that say, "You're a load of rubbish." And you know the kind of thing. And we do it in our heads all the time. And we do it about ourselves, and we're doing it about other people. And we may not even acknowledge that we're doing this. It's so normal. It's not just you. Honestly, I can vouch for that. It's everybody. It's about everybody. Unless people are well along the spiritual path. Even when you're a practicing Buddhist, even if you've been practicing for 20 years, there are still these voices there. A lot less than there was, probably, but we have to keep tackling them. They cause a negative influence on our life. So what we're trying to do in the loving kindness practice is just notice these voices. Just be honest about them, acknowledge them, make friends with them even, turn towards them, and by all means see that they are not very nice and unpleasant and painful for us. And we may definitely feel that we want not to do those, not to use those voices, not to say those things in our minds. But in order to stop them, we have to turn towards them. We have to acknowledge them and let them go. It's completely counterintuitive, I know. But it does work. It's just like when thoughts arise and you're following the breath, you need to turn towards the thoughts. It's how it works. And by turning towards them, these thoughts, you weaken them. By pushing them away, you strengthen them. So that's the practice. And along with that, we also try and cultivate a sense of at least goodwill towards the people that we might judge and ourselves particularly. So it's a really important practice. In fact, it's a radical practice. We're beginning to change the way we see the world and other people. Okay, so that's enough Shakyapada. Let's launch into the meditation. So just beginning by just noticing that you're here. How mysterious is that? Just noticing that it's you, that there is something here, this being, sitting or lying, getting ready to meditate. What's that feel like? If it feels a bit funny, that's okay. Really important to notice how this feels. Right now. And just having a sense of how it feels physically. The contact with the seat, maybe your feet planted on the floor. If you're in a chair, the whole of the back of your body, if you're lying on the bed or the floor, just feeling that contact with what is ultimately the earth. Just enjoying this sense of being part of the earth, being held. Noticing how you are overall physically. There may be good bits and unpleasant bits. There may be bits that you can't feel. And just acknowledging them all with kindness. And your emotional and mental states, what are they like? Positive, negative, somewhere in between. And wherever we are, physically or mentally, it's okay. We don't need to feel guilty or ashamed or to try and push it away or to try and grasp hold of it and make it bigger. We just need to be aware of it with kindness and acceptance. We're seeking the truth with a capital T. And the truth is what is here right now in this moment. And whatever it is, it's okay. So noticing the breath coming and going. Shoulders rising and falling. The chest and upper back expanding and contracting. Just finding our heart center, where behind the bottom of the rib cage, in the center. You might discover your heart center. It's not your physical heart, it's your emotional heart. And you might already be able to find it, but if you can't, just bring into mind somebody that you really, really love. Perhaps remembering when they were very kind to you, or you were looking after them. Could be a person or a pet. And seeing what happens in the heart center. Often we glow with love, with joy. So if you can't find it, don't worry. Just staying open, not trying hard, just relaxing and just seeing if you can come into contact with it, not worrying about it. If you can find it and you can feel it, just diving into it, just diving right into the middle of it, letting it spread and expand into the whole of your being. Just bathing in the love at the heart centre, bathing in the love you have for this person you've just brought to mind. This is the metta bhavana, or loving kindness meditation. And we begin in the first stage by just bringing our attention to ourselves. How are you feeling about yourself this morning? We often have mixed feelings about ourselves, don't we? There's parts of ourselves that we might accept and quite like, and there's other parts of ourselves that we sometimes just detest or are ashamed of, or we might think aren't good enough. So just acknowledging these parts of yourself, just turning towards these thoughts about yourself, these views and opinions about who you are and what you are. And as you turn towards them, turning towards them with as much kindness as you can muster. These represent suffering and pain. They hurt, don't they? They really hurt. They really take away the wholeness of life and hold us back. So instead of getting caught up in them and making them stronger, can we just see them for what they are? They're just views and opinions that have come about through painful experiences in our lives, through being rejected, through failing, through difficulties we have with other people, and through other people's difficulties. And they simply aren't true, most of them. And the ones that are true, if we recognize them, we can change them. So the first stage to a happy life is just acknowledging these voices with kindness, not pushing them away, not holding on to them and getting caught up in them. Seeing them for what they are, just thoughts brought about by our experience of life ever since we were born. So we could snuggle up to them, we could hold them kindly, Give them a cuddle. Look after them. They really need care. They are hurting so much. And as we do that, wishing ourselves well, opening our hearts to ourselves. And you might use some traditional phrases if you wish. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. Now we bring to mind a good friend, somebody that we care about. Bringing them to mind as an image if we can, or if we can't do that, just as a sense of them. Maybe remembering some happy times we've had with this friend. Just having a real feeling about them in our heart centre, in our bodies. And we know this person quite well, so we know that they too have ups and downs. They too don't necessarily like themselves a lot of the time, or some of the time. That they too cause themselves pain with their judgments about themselves. And maybe at times, even though we love them, we too judge them. We too might have views about them, about what they should and shouldn't be like. So in this meditation, we're just trying to see that this is what they do and what we do, and that it gets us nowhere. We just cause ourselves pain. So can we learn to accept our friend just as they are? Imperfect in their perfectness, or perfect in their imperfectness. It's actually the small flaws in an object that makes it special. And our friend is special. So can we wish them well, open our hearts to them, bathe them in the sense of loving kindness. And if we like, use the traditional words, perhaps adding their name at the end. May you be well. May you be happy. May you be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. Letting the good friend go for now and bringing to mind a stranger, somebody we don't know very well. We see them regularly somewhere, in the shop, in the bus, in the street, could be a neighbour. And first of all, seeing how we feel about this person. Do we connect with them in any way? We may connect a little, or we may feel complete disinterest, really. And that's okay if that's the case. We tend with strangers not to be connected with them. They tend to be a bit two-dimensional, cardboard cutouts. That's okay. But actually they're not like that at all, are they? This person is a warm, living human being that goes through much the same emotions that we do, the same ups and downs in life, the same pain, the same joys, disappointment, sorrow, and happiness. So even though we don't know this person, even though we may not have any much sense of them, can we still turn towards them and open our hearts to them, wishing them well? May you be happy. May you be well. May you be free from suffering and the causes. Really trying to see them as a human being, really trying to have this human connection with them. So letting the stranger go now as well, and bringing to mind somebody who we find difficult, not really, really difficult, but somebody that we just have a bit of trouble with. They irritate us, or we don't really like being with them. We feel a bit uncomfortable with them. So bringing them to mind as an image or a sense of them being with you now, how does that feel? Probably doesn't feel very nice, if you're honest. Probably feels uncomfortable, might even feel painful. You're just noticing what your mind, the power that your mind has, just bringing this person to mind to make you suffer. And not beating yourself up at all for feeling like this. Just actually noticing it with kindness. But we do cause ourselves pain with the people that we have a reaction to. So can we first of all acknowledge that pain that we cause ourselves? We may say that they're causing it, but they're not causing it. They're not even anywhere near. It's our minds that are causing it. So we might even laugh at that, because it is a bit ridiculous, isn't it? Our minds creating this pain. This person that we don't get on with isn't feeling the same pain. They're completely oblivious of it. So just noticing what we do with this person. Not judging it, not adding to it. Just noticing simply that this is what we do. And if we can do that with kindness, it will help us not to do it. It's not to say we have to like this person. We don't. Just that we don't need to cause ourselves pain. And then, in spite of the way we feel about this person, can we wish them well? Can we open our hearts to them as one human being to another? Perhaps when we bring them to mind, or even when we meet them, we can think, may you be well. May you be happy. May you be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. And really trying to mean it. And in the final stage, we bring all four people together. Ourselves, the good friend, stranger, and the person we have difficulty with. Just sitting together in a friendly way. And maybe we can have a sense of wishing all four well in equal terms. All four human beings just doing the best on the difficult path through life. All of us going through a range of emotions, all of us getting older, and one day all of us will get and die. We're all very mortal, very vulnerable and tender. So can we wish all four people well? May we all be well. May we all be happy. May we all be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. Then when we're ready, broadening out that well-wishing to everybody that's been meditating with us this morning. Wishing them well. opening our hearts to our little community here on a morning meditation. And then broadening our loving kindness out even further to the whole world, to all beings in the world, all human beings, all animals, birds, water creatures, insects, all living beings, every living being on this earth, just doing the best to live their lives. Can we wish them well? Can we open our hearts, every one of them? May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. And then finally extending our loving kindness to the earth itself, this poor home of ours that is so in need of care, so in need of our loving kindness. Can we wish the earth well? Can we hold the earth in our consciousness as we go through the day? And for the last moment or two, just letting go of all effort now. Just sitting with your experience, whatever that is. So what I suggest is during the day, as much as you can, try and remember that all other people, all other beings are just like you. And when you feel this tendency to get a bit angry, when other people are a bit angry with you or a bit off with you, just try and respond with a little kindness. An amazing effect. It really does. It's a real, it's a real lovely thing to do. It creates love. So just try and remember this meditation, and as you go through your day, loving kindness is a beautiful thing, and it creates happiness around us for ourselves and other people. And we get what we put out there, we get back. So just before I go, I wanted to say that next week it's slightly different here. I won't be here. I won't be here because I'm on a solitary retreat uh, in Northumberland in a little cottage. Um, but Kate will be here on Monday. Joe will be here on Tuesday, and Joe will be here on Friday. There'll be no meditation on Wednesday or Thursday, unfortunately. But Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, meditation will be here as normal. And the other thing, and I'll be back the week after. The other thing is that we've got a newcomers class starting on the 1st of May, 4 Saturday mornings, an introduction to Buddhism. And it's all about helping us to live a happier life. And if you look in the comments, you'll find one or two recommendations, I'm pleased to say. It's a lovely course. I'll be doing it with a friend, with Joe actually. Joe and I will be doing it. And I can really recommend it. If you've not done anything like this before, it could make such a difference to your life. You don't have to become a Buddhist or anything. You can if you want, but you don't have to. We just want to help people to live happier lives, and this is a really lovely way of doing that. Okay, so if you go to our website, yorkbuddhistcentre.org, and click on courses, you'll find the details there. So thank you everybody for coming this morning. Great to see you. Sorry, and hello to the people I didn't say hello to first thing. And I'll see you again tomorrow. I'll still be here tomorrow at 7 o'clock, and we'll be doing a version of Tonglen meditation where we're giving love and receiving love. Another beautiful meditation. Lovely to see you. Thank you very much, and take care through the day, and lots of love.